On the afternoon of July the 9th, we continued our drive to Sarajevo, arriving there just before dinner time. I found Sarajevo to be a fascinating city with an incredible history. We started off July 10th on a walking tour of the city with our exceptional local city guide Donnie, who provided considerable historical information about the city. After passing by the ruins of an ancient caravanserai, sort of a rest stop for caravans, we stopped at the street corner where Austro-Hungarian Archduke Franz Ferdinand and his wife Sophia were assassinated by a Serbian nationalist in 1914, the event that triggered the start of the First World War. Donnie told us things that I had never heard about before regarding that fateful morning. For me, being there and seeing that spot was a very emotional experience. The Gazi Husrev Beg Mosque is the largest historical mosque in Bosnia and Herzegovina and the main congregational mosque of the country. Built in 1531 AD as the central object of the Beg's endowment, it also included Islamic primary and secondary schools, a vaulted marketplace, and a public bath place. This endowment played a crucial point in the development of the entire town. This mosque was the first in the world to receive electricity and electric illumination in 1898. Damaged extensively during the 1990s siege of Sarajevo, reconstruction of the mosque started right after the war. A completely new interior was designed and applied, although not without considerable controversy among the local Muslim community. The Gazi Husrev Beg Madrasa, now a museum, is across the street from the Gazi Husrev Beg Mosque and is a place where visitors can learn about the character of Gazi Husrev Beg and the history of his endowment. The contemporary exhibition is located in the former rooms of the students of the madrasa. The Srebrenica exhibition, in memory of the 1995 genocide in the southern Bosnian town of Srebrenica, provided photos and videos, all recounting a terrible instance of man's inhumanity to man. It was very moving. Sarajevo City Hall formally opened in April of 1896 and was used as a city hall until 1949 when it was handed over to the National and University Library of Bosnia and Herzegovina. On August the 25th, 1992, shelling during the siege of Sarajevo completely destroyed the library, and the majority of the books could not be saved. Since 1996, all restoration work that was possible has been accomplished, while those things that were not possible to save have been made anew through special molds. The building now serves as a concert venue and exhibition hall. On the morning of July 11th, we visited the Sarajevo Tunnel, or Tunnel of Hope, a tunnel linking the besieged city of Sarajevo with Bosnian-held territory on the other side of the airport, an area controlled by the United Nations. The tunnel allowed food, war supplies, and humanitarian aid to come into the city. Dug by hand from opposite ends in 8-hour shifts, 24 hours a day during the spring of 1993, workers were paid with 1 pack of cigarettes per day, an item in high demand and a prized bartering possession. During our return to the city, our local guide Donnie recounted his experiences as a preteen boy in the city during the siege. What he had to say about the effects that has had on his life was quite moving. Leaving Sarajevo on the morning of July 12th, we passed by some of the remains of what was used for the 1984 Winter Olympics, and later by one of the Bosnian pyramids, one of a trio of mountains that some weird-thinking people have deemed to be pyramids built either by ancient civilizations or by extraterrestrials. On the way to our final destination for the day, we stopped at the tiny village of Đakovo, Croatia, whose main claim to fame is a magnificent cathedral, the second largest in all of Croatia. It is so large, in fact, that it was easily spotted from the road several miles outside the city. Our final destination for the day was the tiny village of Karanak in the province of Slavonia in eastern Croatia. Here we spent the night and part of the next day at a very rustic but nice B&B operated by young married couple Dennis and Kosa. A young neighbor named Lily provided an interactive demonstration on the making of cheese from fresh raw milk treated with enzymes. We assisted by separating the resulting curds and whey, chopping various herbs for seasoning, and pouring the viscous liquid into containers for setting. Two ladies from our group volunteered to add weights to press the cheese at 9 p.m., and another man who was actually staying at Lily's parents' home down the street volunteered to add a second set of weights at 2 a.m. After the demo, we split into two groups, with my group going to Lily's parents' home for dinner. The next morning, we turned out the cheese from the containers and added salt to each block. The resulting cheese was actually more like cream cheese and was served for breakfast, along with optional glasses of whey to drink.
I know.
Well, after 18 years of practicing, it was a lot of practice. It was not easy on the beginning.
You make it, that's what I'm saying. You make it, it's like, yeah, I know it's not easy.
You got to get the feel of it.
Yeah, I must feel it. It's really true. Actually, I was studying forestry before. Forestry, yes, 25 years ago. And then one day I was looking for big flower pots for my little trees, and I could not find such a big pot. Then I decided to make my own.
Beautiful, so fast.
Sorry.
What a time to get a phone call.
I'm outside just for the background for my decoration. So, and now, as I said, just few stripes. Oh wow! First, the neck piece here on. I formed the neck piece here on the top.
Oh.
Separate, yeah. And now I cut this piece off.